Now we're going to get right into it, Sister Dequi. We're going to get right into it. I think this is something a lot of the community wants to know. What is a political prisoner? And how is this type of prisoner different from, say, Pookie or Ray Ray that went to jail?
First of all, Dr. Clark, John Henry Clark, said when we were kidnapped, we came here as political prisoners because we didn't come here of our own free will. We were kidnapped as a political system of capitalism, and we were made into a commodity. A political prisoner is someone who's in prison because of their political actions or their political beliefs. Most people know Mumia Abu-Jamal. He's a political prisoner, right? Because he took his journalism skills and he used them for the people to challenge Rizzo in Philadelphia, the police department in Philadelphia, and the system of capitalism, right? Sekou and others were political prisoners of war. And a prisoner of war is someone who takes up military action against a repressive government. So when we talk about the Black Liberation Army, that was to wage armed struggle in defense of the war on Black people. Because make no mistake, there's been a war on Black people since 1619. They just change it. Sometimes it's police, sometimes it's the piss poor education, sometimes it's the lack of affordable housing, it's the massive and chronic unemployment, it's the lack of access to health care. All of those ways are the war that is being waged against Black folks. It's just not bullets and drones, but in political prisoner and political prisoner of war, those are two distinct categories in the struggle for Black freedom and Black resistance.
Thank you for that, Sister Dequi. And can we not also make the case that even Pookie and Ray Ray, who may be in jail for selling some weed or whatever they're in jail for, are in a sense being politically imprisoned themselves? Is that, can we make a case for that?
Well, absolutely. It's like what Malcolm says. We are victims of this political economy, right? And so what makes political prisoners different from what's called, well, you say here, traditional, or we say social prisoners, right? Is people who are imprisoned as a result of participating in the political social economy that they could fit into, right? So whatever activities they engaged in, right? They are victims/survivors of a political economy of capitalism, white supremacy, racism that lock them out of systems that they can survive, like create a livable wage. We don't say that they're bad because once people know, like Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. So there are plenty of people who have gone to prison as, quote, social prisoners, but became politicized, right? George Jackson is one of those people. He went to prison for being a conviction that involved a theft of a television or something, a stereo or something. But once inside, he became politicized. So there are those of us who are victims/survivors of this economy, and we do what we need to do in order to just get by, as Talib Kweli says, right? And then there are those who actively engage in the struggle for Black liberation against this political economy. So that's the differentiation. But we don't say we throw people away because we don't know. We don't know that, as Malcolm said, we've been bamboozled. We don't know that we've been taught to prey on our community. But when we know better, we do better. And so that's why there are people who are political prisoners and people who are political prisoners of war, and there are people who are social prisoners. But everybody that goes in as a social prisoner, has the opportunity to become politicized, because that's what happens in a lot of cases. A lot of people, sisters and brothers, went inside one way but came out another.